Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today on the channel. It is very much appreciated. My name's Robin and this is my weight loss channel. Today, so you probably already know from the title of the video, but today I'm going to be talking about how I lost 34 pounds in 5 weeks. So I'm going to be discussing what I'm doing and continuing to do to lose the weight, why I've chosen to do this program and how it's been going in terms of any side effects, my mentality, my willpower, most importantly, how the weight loss has been going. So stay tuned if you're interested in any of those things, as we will be covering that in today's video. Thank you very much. So the program that I've been following is called the Lipotrim Total Food Replacement Program. It is only available through GPs and pharmacies, and you have to undergo a medical screening first before you get approved to participate in the program. And since COVID happened, they are now allowing you to purchase online. You still have to undergo the medical screening, but once you're all set up, you got access to the online shop and you can order it online, which is a lot more convenient because it gets delivered. It's free delivery as well. So you order it. So if I ordered it yesterday and it came today. So it's really convenient in that respect. And you haven't got to go to the pharmacy every week and get another week's worth. So talking of ordering it online, my delivery came today. This is week 7 and 8 for me. So if I just show you, this is the box that it gets delivered in. And this box contains all of my food consumption for the next 2 weeks. Imagine that being your 2 weeks shop. Literally that's it. That's all I'm going to be putting in my body, aside from water and other stuff, and I'll cover that in a sec. But this is my food for the next 2 weeks. So it's £90 for 2 weeks if you're a female. I think it's a little bit more expensive. I think it's £120 for male. So inside this box, as I said, it has all my food consumption for the next 2 weeks. And basically, there's one of these 3 times a day, every day. It's a low-calorie, nutritionally complete food formula that basically allows you to maximize weight loss whilst maintaining nutritional health. So, you know, it contains all your vitamins, this, that, the other, that you need to be nutritional. There's a lot more science behind it. They do have a really good video on their website about the program, which I'll link down below. Yeah, so as I said, you get 3 sachets a day for the female program, and it's 2 for a male program. So there's 3 different shake flavors: chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. And there's also a soup, which is chicken flavour, which I think is suitable for vegetarians as well. But that's the only flavour soup. And then outside of that, that is all the powdered formulas. And then outside of that, there's also a flapjack you can choose, which I would not recommend. Absolutely horrendous. It's a lot smaller than the shakes, and the shakes are a lot more fulfilling because, you know, you're mixing them with water and it's just filling you up better. So after obviously doing it for a couple of weeks, I found that my go-to flavors and the only flavors that I'm now ordering is chocolate, strawberry, and chicken. So that's all I do. So I do chocolate in the morning, strawberry for lunch, and chicken in the evening. It's a little treat, you know. So they don't taste amazing, but they also don't taste bad. So at the start, it's a bit of a funny texture and flavour to get used to, because there's like this undertone of woody, cardboardy, earthy taste to them. But like I say, once you've done it a couple of weeks, you get used to the flavours and they don't taste bad. When you haven't chewed anything for the last month, it becomes normal and the flavours are fine. So in terms of recommending, like I said, I do find that the shakes go further, even more so than the chicken soup. Have the shake, you mix it with water, 240 mils minimum. So you can do a bit more if you want. They recommend with these, you put them in a shaker, shake them up and drink them straight away. They have to be consumed straight away. But the chicken, they say, put it in a bowl with the water, stir it, and there's your chicken soup. Would not recommend, absolutely not. You cannot stir it to the point where it's consistently smooth and there's no chunky powders. And because like I said, this woody undertone, it's not nice if you've got a lump of powder, trust me. What I do is I put the shakes in a blender, mix it with the water obviously, and I also add ice. So it just makes them a lot more fulfilling. The shake gets a little bit frothy and it's nice and cold because it's not nice to drink at a lukewarm temperature. Definitely would recommend having a blender at hand and ice readily available for the shake. But with the chicken soup, what I do not follow their instructions of doing this in a bowl. It just doesn't work. What I do is I do it with a cold water, and I do put it in a shaker. So I shake it up, make sure that there's no powdery chunks left. Then I put it in a bowl, put it in the microwave, warm it up, and then that's my chicken soup. That pretty much covers the food element of the diet. So outside of the food, you are also allowed to consume other things. Obviously, the main one being water. You can have still and sparkling water, minimum 2 litres a day, maximum 4 litres a day. You're allowed black coffee, which is what I've got today. Black coffee and black tea. And with the tea, it has to be tea leaves that comes from a leaf. So you can't have any flower teas or berry teas, if that makes sense. An additional thing you can add then is a tablet sweetener. It has to be a tablet sweetener and not a powdered sweetener. So there is a lot more information that they cover the ins and the outs and the whys and the wheres and the hows and the whats of all these things in the Lipotrim video that I've linked below. And it gives you the science behind it all and tells you why you can't have it, so on and so forth. But basically, in short, that's the gist. You get your 3 sachets a day. You're allowed water, sparkling or still, black tea, black coffee, and a tablet sweetener. That is the gist of the diet. But like I said, it does go into more detail in the video that I've linked below, why you can't drink Diet Coke and lemon tea and things like that. So definitely check it out if you are looking or thinking to do this, if you wanted some fast weight loss. That's the diet covered. So now I'm going on to the why I've chosen to do this plan, because some of the comments I get is, you know, it's really drastic and is it really necessary? Aren't you going to find that when you come off this diet, you're going to put all the weight back on and be exactly where you started and it would have all been for nothing? I have tried every diet under the sun, and it doesn't matter how much I want it or how hard I try, I fail every single time. So for me at the moment, all I'm focused on is losing the weight. We'll worry about maintaining it when I've actually lost the weight. It's one battle at a time. Let's focus on losing it first before we're worrying about putting it all back on. You can't live your life worrying about something that hasn't happened. How can I worry about putting all the weight back on when I haven't even lost it in the first place? See my logic? Lipotrim also address in their video, you know, how the diet, or the program I should say, combats food addiction, how it changes your mindset and so on towards food. It's meant to break the habits. It is such an instinct to go to the fridge, go to the cupboard and pick up a piece of food, pick up a packet of crisps, pick up a piece of meat from the ham packet in the fridge, you know. And I don't think until that's stripped away from you in its entirety do you realise how much of a habit and just instinct, like it happens. It's like breathing. It happens without you even knowing about it. It's not something that you even have to think about. And until that's stripped away from you, you realise, oh my gosh, yeah, it was ingrained in me. And when you take all of that out of it, you know, taking every single piece of food out of the equation, it's so much simpler. Everything has been simplified. Another reason as well why I've gone down this route is because one of the things I was considering for a while was weight loss surgery. But for me, like, weight loss surgery had to be a last resort because, well, number one, it's so drastic. Obviously, you can't reverse it once it's been done, because the surgery I was looking at was a gastric sleeve. Once it's been done, it can't be reversed. And I cannot physically comprehend putting myself through elective surgery just in case anything went wrong. With my luck, something would go wrong. I've got the worst luck in the world, and also I'm a really bad healer. If I cut myself, like for example, that's been there like 2 weeks now, and it's not even on the verge of looking any better. Can you see that scar there? That's been there for about 2 years, just when I touched my hand on the side of a pan. Just a little burn. And I've still got quite a nasty scar. My point is, I'm a really bad healer, and you know, if something went wrong, I could never forgive myself. Because you've got to live with that decision for the rest of your life, and like I said, it's not reversible. So to have my stomach removed, it just has to be a last resort, doesn't it? And 2, I got other issues with my health, and I don't think it would be wise to go and add a gastric sleeve into the mix, because, you know, long term, how does that look? I don't know what issues that might pose for me down the line. For me, it's not the most sensible thing to do. But when you're clutching at straws and you can't see any way forward, you do actually consider it heavily. But, you know, all of these factors are things that put me off. So then I was thinking to myself one day, well, hang on now. People who have gastric sleeve surgery, how are they so successful in losing weight and losing weight quickly? And the ultimate answer is they're eating less. That is the only ingredient that gives that outcome. They are eating less food because their body physically can't take the food that they used to consume. So I thought to myself, well, anybody could achieve those results by following the gastric sleeve diet without having the gastric sleeve. Lipotrim was a really good option for me because, you know, you're only consuming about 400 calories, 425 calories a day, something like that. It achieves the same results as weight loss surgery because it's just as quick and you're eating just as little. Whenever I'm struggling with the diet, because, you know, there are ups and downs, and whenever I do have those down days and, you know, we're at social gatherings or whatever, and I'm thinking, oh, I really want to eat, I just say to myself, Robin, now, if you'd had a gastric sleeve, you would not have any choice in the matter but to continue on your diet. You know, once you've had that gastric sleeve, you can't go back. That's what gives me the willpower, is just telling myself, you've had a gastric sleeve and you can't do it. But yeah, I also find that my personality and just the person that I am is I am all or nothing. Following a normal diet, one small slip or one little trip up in the road, and that, for me, that makes it unsalvageable. Is that the right word? It's unsavable. I might as well throw in the towel and forget I even started, because that's just my mindset and that's who I am. Taking food out of the equation, you cannot go wrong. When you wake up in the morning, you've got to go to work and you've got to think about a packed lunch, and you've got to think about breakfast, and you've got to think of what am I going to have for snacks, and what about my Diet Coke addiction, and I need to make sure that I grab a can. It's all out the window. All I need to do, grab my sachet and I'm set for the day. It just means that thinking about dinner, it's no longer part of my daily routine. I don't need to be flustered by planning and preparing. It's all taken out of the equation, and I think that is a big key to the success, being able to continue with this diet. Okay, so how it's been going. So I've just got my graph up so I can tell you what I've lost. In week 1, I lost 15.2 pounds, which, you know, I never comprehended that I was going to lose all that weight in the first week. I couldn't believe it. Over a stone in 1 week. I will add that the first week was rough. It was very rough. If I hadn't have achieved that weight loss, I definitely don't think I could have continued. So as rubbish as you feel in the first week, and as dreadful as it is going through the transition, the weight loss makes it all worth it, trust me. So following that, week 2, I lost 4.5 pounds. Total weight loss to 19.7 pounds. Week 3, I lost another 5.1 pounds, which took my total weight loss to 24.8 pounds. Week 4, I lost further 4.4 pounds. Took my weight loss to 29.2 pounds total loss. Last week, I lost 4.5 pounds, which took my total weight loss to 33.7 pounds. So I'm kind of basically looking at about 4.5 pounds, 5 pounds a week recently since my first week, which I am still completely over the moon with. And if I can continue that, then I will be very happy. So as I said, getting started was extremely difficult. They say that day 1 to day 3 to day 4 potentially is the hardest couple of days, but once you get through those days and your body is in ketosis, hunger starts to go away and the feeling tired and the headaches all subside. So what I will say is day 1 was more about staying focused and just remembering you will get through it, because all you're thinking about is food at that point. Day 2 was horrendous. I had a terrible headache. I was really tired. They say like it gets worse to get better, but on day 2 I honestly thought it can't get any worse than this. But let me tell you, I woke up on day 3 and it got worse. Trust me. Day 3 was a low for me, in the morning especially. So I woke up, my head was like the worst headache I've ever experienced. That might be a bit dramatic, but a really bad headache. And again, just so hungry, and all I wanted to do was eat a tin of tuna, anything. That's what I was like, I want to eat. And, I was ringing my mother and was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I'm just going to go and eat. And she was like, Robin, what if you had the sleeve? So, that was my self-talk getting me through it. If I'd had that sleeve, I wouldn't have a choice. So, but then literally day 4, I was a different person. I wasn't hungry. I didn't have headaches. I didn't feel tired anymore. It was like a flick of a switch. Day 4. So 3 days of what feels like pure agony, but once you're through it, it's really not a big deal. And, because what happened is after that second day, on day 3, in that morning when I felt really unwell, I weighed myself and I lost 8 pounds. So I felt horrendous, stepped on the scales, lost 8 pounds, and I was like, it's not that bad. I'm sure I can keep going. Like I said, the weight loss is definitely worth it. So after those first 3 days, I've not really felt hungry. The only struggle I do have is social gatherings, family gatherings, when your family's for a barbecue and they're all sat around eating and you can't eat. And even worse, you can't not drink alcohol, but even pop, everybody's drinking their pop and I'm there drinking my water or my black coffee. And have you got a tablet sweetener? Oh, okay then, well I won't have anything because I can't have that. It is difficult in that respect. As long as you're driven and motivated and you've got your eye on the goal, it shouldn't really faze you. That is the only thing that's tolling. Like, because the first couple of weeks I had quite a lot of gatherings, and because it was still fresh, I would say like after week 3 I really felt unfazed by everything. Up until then there was kind of the nasty thoughts in my head saying, do you really need to lose the weight? Is it really something you need to do? You're happy, right? Like, I'm happy. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm happy. I don't need to lose the weight. What weight? I'm fine. No, I do need to lose the weight because it makes me miserable and it's not healthy. My poor little organs are probably smothered in fat, struggling to work. So again, Lipotrim cover this on the video, but there are some side effects that come along with the diet they advise of. And at the start, I had them all. Headaches, chills, you get really cold and really tired all the time. And from like day 4, cold, I started having like cramps in my legs. But the biggest one, and this one was so real, the bad breath. They warn you about it, but it is horrendous. They sell these breath mints which are fine, but you can also buy these exact same breath mints elsewhere. But basically those breath mints are fine. So if you are going to think about doing this diet, do not do it without getting the breath mints. Because so another one that they do warn you about, if you are on it for like a month or so, hair loss, which I have started seeing, not hair loss, but like when I say hair loss, you notice a lot of hair coming out. I have noticed that in the last week, actually the last few days, my hair has been coming out in a lot bigger chunks. That pretty much covers the side effect I've been experiencing. Oh, and most importantly, weight loss is a side effect, which we're all happy about, obviously. So overall, I'm just taking it day by day, taking each day at a time, hoping I can continue all the way up to my holidays. Like 2 weeks before, I'm going to start the refeeding process, which is a thing in itself. I will continue to keep you updated on my journey. So if you are interested, you can check back in with my videos. But yeah, so thank you all for joining me on today's video. And if you have made it to the end, well done, because this was a bit of a drag. But no, thank you very much for watching. And if you have made it to the end, you're a real one. I will definitely hope to see you on the next video. Wish me luck, guys. Here's to a good week, and a good week for everybody else who's watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.